In a mountainous region known as the Colorado Mountain Range, temperatures drop to extremely low levels, and a terrifying legend spreads throughout the area about a monster that dwells in the icy mountain, one that no one dares to approach. According to the legend, the monster does not appear directly. Instead, it visits its victims in their dreams to warn them. After appearing in a dream, the victim is left with only a very short time to escape. Yet no one has ever managed to survive it. All who saw the monster in their sleep ultimately died. At that time, a young man named David was driving his car through the mountainous area. As he continued along the road, he heard a news report warning of a powerful snowstorm that would strike the region he was in, with temperatures dropping below freezing and conditions no one would be able to withstand due to the heavy snowfall. However, David seemed unconcerned. He closed his car windows and continued driving calmly. He kept going until he noticed a sign for a roadside diner and decided to stop for a quick drink. Before entering, there was a waitress named Anna working there. From the way she spoke with the customers, it was clear that she was well known and loved. Everyone who entered the diner liked her because of her gentle manner and her cheerful, playful way of talking and joking. She was serving the customers, chatting with them and smiling. At that moment, she received a message from an unknown sender. As soon as Anna read it, her facial expression changed, and she appeared upset by its contents. She then returned to the kitchen, thanked the employee for his hard work throughout the day, and told him that his shift was over and he could leave. He removed his headphones and decided to leave the diner. At that moment, David entered the diner. The remaining customers had already finished their meals and left, leaving David alone inside, waiting to place his order and leave quickly. Then a man who looked like a criminal appeared. His name was Finn. He parked his car in front of the diner, got out in a state of extreme anger, entered the diner still furious, and began talking to Anna, until the conversation turned into an argument. David continued to watch the situation, trying to understand what was going on. From their conversation, he learned that Finn was Anna's ex-husband and that there were many problems between them. Finn wanted to see their daughter, Ella, but Anna refused. She believed he was a criminal who drank heavily and could go to prison at any moment because of the trouble he constantly caused. She did not want her daughter to become attached to him only to later see him behind bars. During the argument, David intervened, trying to stop them and calm Finn down, even though he was still seated. Finn then turned toward him, eager to start a fight, and sarcastically asked whether David was defending Anna because he was attracted to her and wanted to start a relationship with her. David replied mockingly, telling him that he was a married man, accusing Finn of being a criminal who did not deserve to be a father. He also made it clear that he had entered the diner only a few minutes earlier, and that this was the first time he had ever seen Anna in his life. He then threatened Finn, saying that if he did not leave the diner immediately, he would call the police and report him, condemning him to spend the rest of his life in prison. Finn's anger grew even stronger, and he nearly struck David because of his infuriating calmness. But David showed no fear, continued to treat him with complete composure, and asked him to leave the diner. Finn was forced to go since he was drunk, and if the police arrived while he was in that state, he would spend the rest of his life in prison. However, as he left, he took revenge on David by smashing his car's side mirror. Anna saw what Finn had done, apologized to David, and introduced herself. She told him her name was Anna and explained that she had married Finn a long time ago but separated from him because of his constant drinking. Sadness was evident in her voice as she spoke about the state Finn had reached, yet at the same time she hated him and did not want to see him again. David greeted her politely, maintaining his calm demeanor, and showed no concern about the broken mirror. He ordered his food to take with him and leave quickly, so he could continue his journey and cross the icy mountain before the snowstorm arrived. David took his order and left the diner in a hurry. He fixed his car mirror and then set off again. On the way, he stopped at a gas station to refuel before continuing his trip. While he was there, Finn also passed by in his car, still carrying a bottle of alcohol and drinking inside his vehicle. As soon as he saw David at the gas station, he decided to go in and start a fight with him because of his cold attitude at the diner. But before doing so, he noticed a police car at the station, grew worried about being arrested, and decided to wait outside until David left. Shortly afterward, the officer at the gas station spoke with David about the broken mirror. At that moment, David appeared tense, as if he were hiding something and feared the police might discover it. David then continued on his way. Suddenly, he noticed Finn's car in his rearview mirror, chasing him down the road. David sped up, trying to escape, and the two continued driving one behind the other until they reached the mountain road. The snowstorm had already begun. The road was covered with snow on all sides, darkness surrounded the area, and neither of them could see anything without their headlights. Finn continued chasing David relentlessly, determined to catch him before he could escape. David took advantage of the deep darkness, turned onto a side road, and then turned off all his car's lights so that Finn would not be able to see him. Indeed, Finn drove past without noticing, unaware that David had stopped his car at a distance from him. David then resumed his journey, fear and tension overwhelming him. He could see nothing ahead on the road, nor did he know his exact location. The map he had with him was useless, as he was unable to see it at all, and his phone could not pick up any signal due to the snowstorm that had already begun. Nevertheless, he continued driving until his car suddenly collided with something and came to a halt. It turned out that the vehicle had become stuck deep in the snow. David quickly got out of the car and noticed that the storm was growing more intense, and that remaining outside the vehicle for too long could cause him to freeze. He tried desperately to push the car free from where it was lodged, but he failed, and the car remained stuck in place. After several attempts to push it or clear the snow from beneath it, he was unable to accomplish anything, so he returned to the car again before the snow could cover him and he would lose his life to the extreme cold. David lost hope of escaping the storm, realizing that the snow would completely bury the car if it remained where it was. He lit a cigarette and sat thinking of a way to survive the situation, especially since there was no signal on the phone. The next day, he woke up in shock when he found that the cigarette had frozen in his mouth. He quickly got out of the car, trying to explore the area around him. When he opened the trunk, he discovered that Anna had been inside it ever since leaving the restaurant, and that David had kidnapped her for an unknown reason, tying her hands and feet inside the trunk. Anna tried to scream in the hope that he would untie her and let her out, but he paid her no attention and closed the trunk on her again until he could find a way to escape the mountain. David continued wandering around the area, hoping to find anything that might help him. Meanwhile, Anna managed to free herself from her restraints inside the trunk, climbed into the back seat, and then escaped quickly from the car. She ran down the road like a madwoman, hoping to find someone to help her, but the snowstorm prevented her from seeing anything. Unable to endure the harsh weather around her, she hurried back to the car. Anna began searching inside the vehicle for anything she could use to defend herself. She found a large roll of tape and a bottle containing a strange substance. At that moment, she remembered that David had made her lose consciousness after exposing her to that strange substance. She took the bottle and the tape and decided to hide until David returned to the car. In the meantime, David had lost all hope of finding any help and decided to return to the car. While walking, his foot was caught in a metal trap, breaking his legs and causing him to bleed. With great difficulty, he managed to free himself from the trap and crawled along the ground until he reached the car to tend to his injury. When he got inside, he noticed that Anna had escaped from the trunk. He reached for a small knife beside him to stab her as soon as he saw her, but before he could move, Anna pressed a piece of cloth over his mouth, causing him to lose consciousness. When David regained consciousness, he found himself on the icy mountain, with a terrifying and dark landscape surrounding him. He noticed that his hand was soaked in blood. He felt intense anxiety and could not understand what was happening, until a huge and strange monster suddenly appeared before him. Before he could see its features, David woke up and realized that he had been dreaming, and that this was the first step of the legend of the ice monster. When he woke up, Anna lashed out at him because there was no phone signal and because his actions had nearly caused their deaths in the middle of the snowstorm. David, however, maintained his usual calm and spoke to her with complete coldness. He was shocked when Anna told him that her mother had noticed her disappearance and had reported it to the police, and that they were searching for her. David felt afraid that the police might reach them and discover that he had kidnapped her from the restaurant, but he surprised her by telling her that he had sent a message from her phone to her mother, saying that Anna was going on a trip with her ex-husband, Finn, in hopes of repairing their relationship. David confessed everything to her, telling her that he was not a good person as she had believed, and that for years he had been kidnapping women like her and getting rid of them without anyone discovering the truth. He explained that he had been watching her for a long time and knew everything about her, as well as all the details about her daughter and her ex-husband. He also told her that he had invented the strange substance he carried to make his victims lose consciousness after inhaling it, and then kill them. He assured her that she would not be able to escape him, and that as soon as he freed himself from his restraints, he would get rid of her. Anna mocked him and told him that she would never untie his restraints, that she would leave him tied where he was and escape, opening all the doors so that he would remain frozen to the seat. He replied that the storm would last several days, and that if she tried to escape in such weather, she too would freeze on the road. Anna felt distressed and began emptying and searching the car, where she found a small chair beside her and threw it outside the vehicle. She continued searching and found his wallet, discovering that he was not from the mountainous area and that he had come specifically to kidnap her, planning to leave the place afterward. She was shocked when she saw pictures of herself and her daughter on his phone, which confirmed the truth of his words and made her realize that he was not crazy as she had thought. At night, Anna felt the need to use the bathroom, so she decided to get out of the car before David woke up. However, he suddenly woke up and tried to speak to her. She ignored him, made sure he was still tied up, and then hurried out of the car. As soon as she left, David tried to free himself to escape, but he failed because of how tightly she had bound him. Nevertheless, he managed with great difficulty to move his hand until he reached the car key and used it to lock the doors so that Anna would not be able to get back in and would freeze outside. A short while later, Anna finished and returned toward the car, only to be shocked when she found the doors locked. She began pounding on the door and screaming, regretting that she had not knocked him unconscious before getting out, and fearing that she would freeze where she stood. She retrieved the chair she had thrown outside earlier and began smashing the glass with it until she succeeded in breaking it and re-entered the car. Furious at what David had done, she tried to strangle him and nearly killed him, but she stopped at the last moment. David asked her what had prevented her from ending his life, and she replied that she was far kinder than he was, that she could not take a human life for any reason, and that she would personally hand him over to the police. He then thought about the broken window and realized that if they remained in that state, they would never be able to leave the mountainous area again. Anna tried to cover the broken window and returned everything in the car to its normal state, but she remained fearful. She decided to search him to make sure he was not carrying anything dangerous, and while searching him and the car, she found numerous cards belonging to women. She was shocked when she realized that he had gotten rid of all of those women. At that moment, Anna realized she was dealing with a dangerous criminal. Although she had been scared from the beginning, her fear intensified when she saw the cards, and her only desire was to return to her restaurant as quickly as possible, worried about her mother and her daughter, Ella. Yet David continued to mock her, telling her she was a weak girl and one of the easiest women he had ever kidnapped. David began recounting the story of the first girl he had eliminated. He told her that he always pretended to be a married man with children. One day, while driving on the road, a beautiful girl stopped him and asked for a ride. When she saw his wedding ring and the child's seat in the car, the same seat Anna had used to break the glass, she felt reassured and asked him to take her to the city. David agreed despite being in a hurry. Along the way, he attacked the girl, surprising her, then stabbed her with the knife he carried until he was certain she was dead. Afterward, he threw her away and calmly continued to the city. Sometime later, he heard on the news that the girl he had killed was the daughter of the city's judge. Fearing the police would discover his crime, he hid for a long period. Eventually, he returned to his normal life, once he was confident that the authorities had not been able to identify the killer. From that time onward, he carefully selected his victims, one by one, meticulously planning each crime to avoid being exposed. He told Anna that he planned every detail for each victim, from the moment he kidnapped her until he disposed of her, but he never revealed the true reason why he had become a criminal. Anna covered his mouth with tape to prevent him from speaking further, and they decided to sleep. After a few hours, they were awakened by the terrifying sound of a monster, with a strangely shaped hand pounding on the car's windshield. Yet they could not see it. Anna quickly got up and started the car. The noise frightened the monster, causing it to flee. Anna then removed the tape from David's mouth, and the two remained sitting in place, frozen from the cold until morning arrived. At dawn, the snow had covered most of their bodies. David felt a strange pain from the wound in his leg. The two decided to hold each other to share body heat. At that moment, each of them confessed the truth to the other. David revealed that the reason he became a criminal was his mother, who had beaten him harshly as a child to the point that, one day, he lost control and killed her. Since then, he had refused to marry, and his mind was consumed with killing women, taking revenge on his mother, because every woman he saw reminded him of what she had done to him in the past. Anna, in turn, shared that she had been raised in a very bad family after being adopted from an orphanage she had lived in. Although her adoptive mother was kind and treated her like a daughter, her adoptive father did not love her and would molest her whenever he saw her. Despite all she had endured, she had never considered becoming a criminal or taking revenge on men. She had never encountered a good man in her life, not her father, nor her ex-husband Finn, nor even David, whom she had thought was a good man, only to discover that he was a criminal. Suddenly, while they were talking, David freed himself from his restraints and attacked her, attempting to kill her. Anna ran quickly back to the rear seat, but he caught her. At that moment, the monster David had seen in his dreams appeared, confirming that he would not be able to escape this time. The monster broke the car's glass and grabbed David to pull him outside. David held onto Anna, trying to take her with him, but she quickly removed her jacket, and David exited the car with only the jacket. Anna crawled swiftly into the trunk to hide, remaining there, frozen from the cold, unable to move, until the monster approached. At that moment, a huge truck passed by on the road. Its driver noticed David's car and feared it might have been in an accident. He quickly got out to check and found Anna inside the trunk. He took her with him to rescue her and sped toward the hospital. And so, this marks the end of the film. Don't forget to share your opinion in the comments, give a like, and subscribe to the channel to get every new film as it's released.